So when I moved to Seattle, it was in 1993. So some of you were maybe not even born yet. And I started my private practice, and one of the early young men who was referred to me was a guy who was 25. He was married, and he came because he was depressed and his marriage was falling apart. So in the course of working with him, I just began to see that this guy was completely obsessed with a Dungeons and Dragons mud. And it was his gaming that was creating the marital problems. It was his gaming that had lost him already a job at Microsoft. It lost him another job almost immediately after I started working with him. You know, his life was falling apart because of his gaming. And even though this was a game that was without graphics, it was just a text-only game, he was classically addicted to it. And I didn't know really much about addiction. I just, you know, in my graduate training, I had a little bit of training in recognizing alcoholism and drug addiction so that I could, like, refer it to somebody else for treatment. But this was presenting like an addiction. And so it was like opening up a window on a world I knew nothing about. I didn't have a computer. I didn't know anything about the internet except what I read on the news. You know, it was really foreign territory to me. And I remember saying to him, you know, well, as I began to understand that he was playing this game with lots of other people, including a lot of people in the Seattle area, I suggested I could run a therapy group. And he said, oh, no, no. There's no point. They don't have any money. They're all dropouts. They're living at home in their parents' basements. They don't have jobs. So, you know, don't even bother trying. Well, that just piqued my interest. And then shortly after that, I had a woman who came into the office who was having an online affair. She was a writer. She was in a writer's forum online. She was married. She had kids, but she was having this online affair. And she thought it was absolutely perfectly normal and fine because they weren't physically carrying on their affair, that it didn't count. Well, that got me interested. So it was this series of people who were just showing up in my office that was helping me understand there was something happening out there that I didn't know much about and I got very curious about.